NFTs and AI. Where are we now?
So let's talk about this. So AI and NFTs, what do they have to do with each other?
Testing, yes. I mean, quite vague but interesting headline you have to deal with, Wes.
Well, it's really actually not that vague, because when we're taking a look at NFTs, over the last year, and we've been seeing a lot of NFT creation, which has been done through AI.
I mean, yes, effectively what my head went to is the gamified solutions which are created through the process of AI, which effectively are sold as NFTs.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, I had seen a platform building historical characters such as Socrates that was able to understand through GPT and LLM language models. So the interaction happened like that, which was then effectively sold as an NFT in a tiered structure the more you converse with the said character. That makes sense. That's the first element I see these connections.
Excuse me, guys.
Hello, welcome.
Zack, now I'm sure you've used a little bit of AI in some of your creations with NFTs.
I love it.
You love it.
I love AI. I see it as a tool.
So, and how are you using AI in the world of NFTs?
So AI, I'm basically using a mix of ChatGPT. I'm using a mix of Midjourney and DALL-E as well. How I use it is basically I'll come up with some ideas and then I'll just use the AI to develop them further.
Okay.
And then usually what happens is there'll be just one small thing that I would have taken for granted and I would have created a better link together.
Now, so basically you're creating that link, you're creating the artwork, and then you're minting the NFT post that.
No, the artwork is always originally created by myself. I use it just as a tool for idea generation.
Okay. All right. So the DALL-E will give you sort of like images and inspiration essentially, and then you will go and create the artwork from scratch.
I honestly, Wes, I use it for a lot of things. But for example, let's say I want to use a photo and create an illustration on top of it.
Yeah.
And I say, oh man, this photo was cropped really badly. I'm like, okay, Photoshop has this new feature. Generate fill. Automatically find the right one, curate it a bit.
Okay. Do you find that so I have a couple of NFT collections that I'm working on for a couple of projects with some of my clients at the moment, and one of them happens to be sort of a generative collection of female models. This collection, we've just put in sort of keywords, and it's coming up with these faces, which all sort of are the same, but different hairstyles and different things. But this is eventually might actually be someone somewhere down the line. And we're creating that and using that as the basis for this NFT collection, which is quite a large one. Is this going to create any form of ethical implication down the line where someone's going to come back to me and say, hey, that's me, you using me without my permission? Daniel, what do you think?
Yeah, well, if we knew how the AI works in general, basically it uses the information which already exists. And technically those like designers, graphic designers, they can say like, yeah, well, the AI generated from what I did before. Of course, how to prove it, I would say it's impossible because it's all just randomly generated, right? From the if we speak about that part, like which is like copyrights, there are already cases like where creators are complaining about that their work were used somewhere to generate NFTs or any other artworks, but it's impossible to prove since it's just AI.
And then on this point, I'm going to play devil's advocate, and I'm going to throw this to Michael, because I know you think a lot about the ethical implications of things. When it comes to this, if I'm an artist and I copy Daniel's style or I copy Zack's style, you really can't do too much if I do it manually, right, Zack?
Really and truly, style is not copyrighted or trademarked.
Exactly.
So they can do what they want. Obviously, it's very obvious that you blatantly copied someone.
That's right. Like so like you could do a Banksy style piece.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, like everybody is okay. You know it's a Banksy style, but you know it's not a Banksy. Same thing. I know it's not a Ritchie if I was to make a piece of artwork, but if I'm using an AI tool to do the same thing, is there a difference?
What I might add is it would make far more sense that the AI platform actually has a database of images that have been royalty free. They have been either donated or they get some kind of royalty
Yep.
for putting up their photos.
Mhm.
Because if it's using open public domain, if it's using the open public like Google searching, even copyrighted images, then that's wrong.
But how far does copyright go?
That's it. I mean, I believe the base layer of ChatGPT was scraped from a server that has copyrightable images. That was the base layer. And then everything built on that. I think IP lawyers are going to make a lot of money. That's for sure. But I also think that there's going to come to a point that there'll be so many cases that governments would have to take a decision on whether we should pursue people who are copying IP through AI or let it run rampant. And the way to see if it would run rampant would be effectively in the hands of the people who are creating the AI. So that goes back to the ethical question: are you going to take a shortcut, or are you going to be safe and potentially do things a bit slowly but make less money?
You know what's the even bigger question about that, though?
Mhm.
Is it supposed to be copyrighted? The reason being is the law states that copyright only exists with human beings. If a monkey creates art, that is not copyrighted.
Okay.
It can't be protected. So if a machine is creating intellectual property, who's in trouble? Is it supposed to be copyrighted? I understand we're giving in the prompt.
Yep.
But we're not 100% guaranteed what we're going to get.
That's very
If I
true.
go on Photoshop and I click to make a box, I know I will get a box. But I don't know if I do a prompt what I will get exactly.
Okay, now I'm going to fight you on this one.
Okay.
And really, just take it like this. You don't know what box you're going to get, but you keep making it create boxes, and until it's a box you agree with and displays the vision that you want. So, is it the AI or is it you?
I don't have the answer. I'm not a lawyer, but it's a very fair point.
And I'll go into this at the moment. So I'm actually working with we actually have an AI music video show which we're doing every Friday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So we're working with AI video music creators. They're creating the music videos on top of music which is already pre-recorded, and they're creating these visions for these songs. And what's interesting is sometimes they're using the same song and you have two different AI video music artists creating completely different stories using AI. Now, the question is, all those images are auto-generated, but then they're telling a story in a different way. So we still have the human input, but they're just using these as tools. Like we went from pen on paper and canvases to digital creation, using the canvas being a digital creation, now to just speeding up that process and trying to get the words and thoughts that we have, put it into words and create from there. Is this a natural progression for what we're doing in this space, using AI to come out then with these original artworks on NFT, which you're literally putting your name to? I'm gonna give it to the artist here, and then Daniel, I want you to jump in.
So one thing that I'm aware of is, really and truly, like Picasso says, to be a great artist, you need to steal a lot. If you copy one person, you're copying, and you're going to be plagiarized and you're going to be caught. But if you take a lot from other people, you create something unique. So what I'm trying to say here is, if the AI creates something, whether it be music or art, that is maybe 20%, you can tell where its influence is. Does it really mean that you're copying?
Well, so
because it's fair use.
You used a really good term. The word steal, rather than copy, means you make it your own.
Exactly.
Right? So it's no longer their property. Now this is mine. All the great artists in the world. Shakespeare was a massive thief. He stole bunches of stories. Picasso. Everybody does steal. And making it your own is leaving your mark on it. At that point, if it was someone else's sort of concept to begin with, but you sort of developed it and created it into a world that is uniquely yours, no matter what the tool you use, can that then be copyrightable? Or do you feel it should be?
How? I think it's best I pass it on to the panel because I'm talking too much, guys. Sorry.
Daniel, Daniel, what do you think? Like, you're a tech creator, right? You're creating platforms, and you're creating software. These software, in the same concept, can be sort of recreated through AI, through code, and someone can create an NFT and give someone a license for that.
Yeah.
Now, if they created the platform you're building now and gave it their own flavored twist, How would you feel about that, having put on all the hard work at the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, here we're talking more about like the business inside. Like, of course, nobody is secure that someone else not gonna do the same what you are doing. If we speak about the copyright part of, there are a couple of things what people can do. Like, you can patent your product. You still have a source code where you can see who is the developer, and even when you debugging and running application, you sign, if you speak, for example, about the 𝐒𝐿, you sign the certificate as a developer. Well, here we are not secured at all. And on top of that, I will speak about the NFTs and visuals. There is another way, actually, how people generate them with AI, and I think it might be great to discuss. Not only from the prompt. I was speaking, I had a chat with one my designer, and we were discussing that topic a week ago. And there is a service where you can upload ready images or logotypes to give an inspiration. Basically, because as I understood, like as I can see, when you generate something from prompt, it's more random. You're kind of giving the direction what to generate. When you're giving the specific examples what to generate, like ready images, it gives you very similar product to what you basically provide to the AI model. So I would say, if we speak about the software developers, I don't see any problems that someone will start developing something similar, because it's still going to be custom developed code from these developers. But if we speak about something like this, like generating images directly from the specific designer or creator, this is a bit more tricky. And yeah.
We probably will see very high development. A lot of analysts and VCs in the space right now are saying the next billion-dollar companies will be literally run by a maximum of 10 people, and they will run businesses that are mind-blowing because of tools like AI. They will be able to create code developments much quicker. They'll be able to create frameworks much quicker. Yep. And they're utilizing these tools for, again, from everything from the day-to-day correspondence with their clients to even their internal communications. AI is going to be part of this situation. And I think this is something that even yourself, Michael, you guys have been delving in a little bit.
Yes. Have you guys heard of AutoGPT or Baby AGI? That will be the reason why there will be a company with only 10 people able to be worth tens of billions, because effectively, from a simple point of view, you build an AI that instructs the other AI what to do. So imagine that. Imagine a situation whereby, not now, but in a few years, AIs are instructing other AIs to build images. Who owns the images? And if they're put on a repository of 1 billion images for the world to download, who owns them?
Technically, the person who owned the raw image, the first who...
You mean who created the first AI?
It's questionable, because like Facebook and Instagram, do you really own your images? Because it almost becomes public domain as well. Facebook can do anything.
So I see a world whereby AutoGPTs will be all over the place, and there'll be a repository created by the initial AI with images all curated for the world to download for free. And then it's a real dilemma for the government to see what the hell they're going to do.
Well, maybe we could see something a little bit more creative coming in the next wave of what we call the blockchain run. We're going to be seeing, I'm a big believer the next round is going to be pushed by SocialFi. The whole idea of as a social individual, as I give to the community and share thoughts, you will be rewarded for the value you give to the community, not for the amount of spam you create. So if you're just shit posting all day, unless you're making people really laugh, it's not going to happen. But I think the next wave is all going to be pushed from a social aspect, and I think that social aspect is going to be aided by AI as well. Because again, I'm not the greatest artist, but I do like to use AI to help communicate what I want to say. And you know what? I don't want to go on Google and just steal a stock image, right? So I do like that to help illustrate what's going to be in that post using the AI. So I think we're going to see a lot of high value come out of it and just help convey messages. Mike, you want to say something? It's like...
No, when you mentioned SocialFi, it reminded me of that episode of Black Mirror.
The social scoring element?
Is that what you're envisioning?
Not exactly. It's more rewarding rather than scoring of like, oh, this guy's like a 9. We've already gone through the whole cloud period and there's friend tech and all that sort of thing. No, I'm just saying more. The more you add to the community and the more positive value you give to community, I think social is going to be in that. I think NFTs will be part of that because they'll help prove identity. They'll help us in various different ways.
Super interesting, actually. It could be a structured approach.
It's like YouTube. The more people watch, the more you earn. Twitter is integrating it as well. But I believe even Instagram is.
But I don't think it's just going to be the creators. I also think the community side, the public. Because the public is part of the process. They comment, they start discussions. They are what's going on here. Now, when we have AI and NFTs aside from that, they're going to be able to bring in things to the space and have ways to prove that they were the ones who brought it into space. So theoretically, your comments, your jokes could all be minted on blockchain to a point where you can actually earn value back from people who are sharing that time and time again. How many times do we see screenshots of other people shared 1 million times over? It's that sort of valued engagement, which I think through AI and NFTs will go very far. Daniel, you guys are building a bit of a Metaverse platform, right?
Metaverse platform for the iGaming, right?
For iGaming. And so obviously social is going to be a big part of that in the AI space.
Yeah. I just to elaborate on what you said before. Honestly, this similar model to reward the reward people and communities. LinkedIn do that now already. It's not with NFTs, of course, but they have a very cool feature. Even if you're not quite active as a guy who is posting stuff, but you're commenting a lot, for example, you can earn the badge that like the best guy who comments a lot, for example, or the iGaming voice of the year. So technically, if we tweak that into NFTs, have no idea how, it might work as well. Because so far they already assigned the badges to anybody, and you don't have to be quite active as a guy who is posting all the time there.
All right. So before we close this panel on AI and NFTs, where are we now? I'm going to ask one question. Where do you think we're going to be within 24 months? And I know that's a long time, especially as NFTs have really been a thing maybe only for 48 months. But where do you think we're going to be in 24 months' time? 2 years from now, end of 25, we'll be here at Sigma, AIBC. What do you think is going to be happening in that space? And I'll start from you, Zach.
I think AI, the integration of AI in things in general, will make things a bit more like a simplified version of the 𝐒𝐿, which is basically you have the AI, which can do the technical stuff that you don't want to do. Then you have Auto GPT, as you're mentioning, that can be the manager of the AI. And then that leaves the visionary or the creative. And as of right now, no one does it better than humans. It's very hard for us to do it with AI.
Yep.
So I think it will make more projects come into fruition, more creative people, more innovation. Think about it. If someone's taking care of all that stuff, you have more time to be free and creative.
I agree. I'm 100% on board. Daniel.
I would say I'm not sure that we will have a lot of finished and brushed successful projects, maybe, but we will have a lot of new tools for creators, because as we mentioned before, first of all, I think it's the tool, and everybody can use it differently. So yeah, I would say more tools, and from these tools we might see more projects maybe in 2 years then, not in the one.
Okay. Mike.
So for NFTs, I think it depends a lot on where the government stance is. As we know, there's a Bitcoin ETF coming out, so it depends on the next 24 months. And that could speed up the development of NFTs or potentially kill it. AI is a different ball game. I echo what Zack said. I think effectively there'll be more people on this panel with different projects. And yeah, I mean, humans are at the center of everything, so I wouldn't be concerned about anything else. But yeah, humans leading AutoGPTs, which build their own products. That's the way I see it. 2 years from now.
Let's do it, bro. We'll speak off.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
No, I do really
outside.
I do really agree. We're gonna see innovation drive like there's no tomorrow over the next couple of years. What used to take us a year to do is going to take us 6 months to do. And in this space, especially the NFT space, I do think we're going to see the first big projects come out where they're mainstream. If you just use social media as a sort of timeline, it took 2008, Facebook came out. 2013 was the launch of Instagram, or launch sale of Instagram in that sort of period. And I think that's where the area where we're going to see everybody sort of coming on board. So it's going to be an exciting thing. I look forward to seeing you guys in 2 years on this same panel, and let's see if we were futurists on it. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you, Zach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Michael. Big hand, everybody.